Hello, welcome to Feasting on the Word for this week. It is September the 18th, 2024. Once again, connecting into this rhythm of the church, an ancient rhythm that's a simple one. It was trying to give a way of approaching Scripture that was not overwhelming, because often we can look at the Bible and just not know where to start or how we should approach it. Should we do it in book of the Bible in order as it is? Should we pick and choose pieces that resonate with us? It's difficult to know. And so Feasting on the Word, Lectio Divina was its old name, was a way of saying, well, let's just spend some intentional time with a tiny little piece, and we'll take these pieces from all over and just sit with them more. We update this a little bit by using 4 translations of the same passage: the New Revised Standard, the Message, the Contemporary English, and the New International Version. But otherwise, it's essentially the same. The same passage 4 times, interspersed only with silence. A minute following the first reading, a minute following the second reading, 3 minutes following the third reading, and then concluding with the fourth and final reading. That longer period of silence is intended as an opportunity for us to be in conversation with God, that is, prayer, to take how this scripture is speaking to us, whether that's in an affirmative way, whether it's encouraging us and bringing us joy, or whether it's confusing us, or maybe it's discouraging us, but taking that to God in prayer. I find it helpful to have something to write with and something to write on nearby so that I can write down my impressions as it is read through those first 3 times, and then use that as the material for that conversation with God. So let's get into the discipline for this week. Our passage comes to us from the Epistle of James in the 3rd chapter, verses 13 through 18, beginning with the New Revised Standard Version. Who is wise and knowledgeable among you? Show by your good life that your works are done with gentleness, born of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not be arrogant and lie about the truth. This is not wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, devilish. And where there is envy and selfish ambition, there will also be disorder and wickedness of every kind. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without a trace of partiality or hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Our second reading of James chapter 3, verses 13 through 18 from the Message. Do you want to be counted wise, to build a reputation for wisdom? Here's what you do. Live well. Live wisely. Live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. Mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Twisting the truth to make yourself sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal cunning, devilish plotting. Whenever you're trying to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart, and everyone ends up at the other's throat. Real wisdom, God's wisdom, begins with a holy life and is characterized by getting along with others. It is gentle and reasonable, overflowing with mercy and blessings, not hot one day and cold the next, not two-faced. You can develop a healthy, robust community that lives right with God and enjoy its results only if you do the hard work of getting along with each other, treating each other with dignity and honor. Our third reading of James chapter 3, verses 13 through 18 from the Contemporary English Version, with our longer period of 3 minutes of silence to follow. Are any of you wise or sensible? Then show it by living right, and by being humble and wise in everything you do. But if your heart is full of bitter jealousy and selfishness, don't brag or lie to cover up the truth. This kind of wisdom doesn't come from above. It is earthly and selfish and comes from the devil himself. Whenever people are jealous or selfish, they cause trouble and do all sorts of cruel things. But the wisdom that comes from above leads us to be pure, friendly, gentle, sensible, kind, helpful, genuine, and sincere. When peacemakers plant seeds of peace, they will harvest justice. Our fourth and final reading of James chapter 3, verses 13 through 18 from the New International Version. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Peacemakers who sow in peace reap a harvest of righteousness. This is the inspired word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.